You are watching the broadcast of the El Paso County Commissioners Court meetings. Commissioners Court meetings are held every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on the third floor of the El Paso County Courthouse, located at 500 East San Antonio in downtown El Paso. These meetings are open to the public. The meeting will start momentarily.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public. The sandbags are outside of the facilities and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: the Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, located at 1331 North Fabens Street in Fabens, Texas, 79838. The Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, located at 191 Canutillo Avenue in Canutillo, Texas, 79835. And the Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, located at 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas, 79938.
Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
Don't wait in line, pay online. Visit the Financial Recovery Division website at http://www.epcounty.com/budget/financialrecovery.htm to make your payments online or find out more about our kiosk locations. We now accept payments on misdemeanor, felony, and justice of the peace cases.
You can now watch Commissioners Court meetings on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and search for El Paso County Commissioners or El Paso County, Texas. Subscribe to our channels to see our latest videos.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched a prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings!
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the purchasing department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
The 346th District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for the specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director, at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the purchasing department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the purchasing department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
You are watching the broadcast of the El Paso County Commissioners Court meetings. Commissioners Court meetings are held every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on the third floor of the El Paso County Courthouse, located at 500 East San Antonio in downtown El Paso. These meetings are open to the public. The meeting will start momentarily.
Thank you for being here. Mr. Nava, I think we're ready to get started whenever you all are ready.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Monday, September 17, 2018. Commissioners Court is meeting in regular open session. Would you please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3 is consent agenda, composed of items 3A through 3T. Are there any items that the members of the court or the public would like to pull for individual discussion?
Commissioners, any items that you'd like pulled from the consent agenda? Or any members of the public? Okay, hearing none, I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4A, approve and adopt a resolution recognizing NAMI Walks El Paso Day and Mental Health Awareness Week in El Paso County, Texas.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. I have the honor of reading this resolution this morning. I know that there are some folks from NAMI here in the audience, as well as Chrissy Doherty. Who are you? What are you called? The Grand Marshal or the of the parade? Is that what it is? But if y'all want to come and up to the podium as I read the resolution, and then we'll hear from y'all after I finish. Whereas mental health is part of overall health, but 1 in 5 adults experiences a mental health problem on any given year, and nearly 1 in 25 adults in the United States live with a serious mental health condition such as major depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. And whereas approximately 1/2 of chronic mental illness begins by the age of 14 and 3/4 by age 24. And whereas early intervention and treatment can increase the recovery process of a mental health condition, as long delays, sometimes decades, often occur between the time symptoms first appear and when individuals get help. And whereas it is important to maintain mental health and learn the symptoms of mental illness in order to get help when it is needed. Public awareness, education, and civic involvement can encourage regular mental health care and help to improve the lives of those individuals and families living with a mental health condition. And whereas every citizen and community can make a difference in helping end the stigma against mental health that has left many people to suffer in silence and discouraged from seeking help. And whereas the National Alliance on Mental Illness of El Paso will be hosting its annual walk, NAMI Walks El Paso, on Saturday, September 22nd at Memorial Park Reserve. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court that September 22nd, 2018 shall be known as NAMI Walks El Paso Day, and October 7, 2018 to October 13, 2018 be known as Mental Health Awareness Week. Signed the 17th day of September 2018, the Honorable County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Stott, for reading today's resolution. My name is Isidro Torres, and I am the Outreach and Fundraising Coordinator for NAMI El Paso. And today I'm joined by NAMI El Paso staff and board, Nelly Mendoza, Director of Programs, Cristina Alcantar, Office Manager and Program Specialist, Maria Baxley, and her grandson, Board Member Melissa Carrillo, Lauren Bryan, Social Work Intern, Denise Uga, and Alejandra Valdez, Program Coordinators, and Kathleen Anderson. And I'm also joined by our walk chair.
There it is, walk chair. That's it.
And Renee Pardo, Chief of Staff of EHN.
We'll go with Grand Marshal.
So this Saturday, again, we are having our NAMI Walks, and this is our largest awareness and fundraiser event. And through this event, we hope to achieve 3 goals: bringing awareness to the El Paso community regarding mental health and mental health conditions and the importance, providing a positive platform so that El Pasoans can talk about a very hard issue and be able to understand it a little bit better and know where to find resources here in El Paso. And also raise funds so that NAMI El Paso can continue its mission to provide advocacy, awareness, education, and support support so that El Pasoans living with mental health conditions and their families can build better lives. And so it's with support of the community, staff, board members that we are able to achieve these goals and able to continue the variety of free classes, presentations, and support groups that we offer to the community that, again, are free at no cost and available both in English and in Spanish. And I don't know if Christy, our Grand Marshal, would like to.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Christy Darty. I'm actually the CEO for Emergence Health Network, but I think I'm going to change my business cards to Grand Marshal. So I really like that. So if you'll approve that expense, Commissioner. But I'm honored. I'm honored to serve as the chair of the walk this year. We've had a lot of fun. We've had some great events. We've really engaged Emergence employees, our staff and their families in the walk this year. And I don't know if the NAMI staff know this yet, but I'm happy to announce that Emergence will be donating a total of $13,000 in pledges to NAMI walks this year. Our staff raised $8,000, and then one of our vendors, our electronic health record is NetSmart, they donated $5,000. So that's what we will be contributing this year to the walk, and we're excited about that. We'll have a large turnout, hopefully on Saturday. I know last year it rained, and this year we're not supposed to have rain. So we hope everybody comes out and enjoys a beautiful morning in El Paso and has a good time. And we appreciate the county's continued support of all mental health initiatives. And thank you. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you all so much. A round of applause, please.
My turn, you can take my picture. Usually that's where I always go. It's a safe assumption that more time. I took two just in case.
Item 4B, approve and adopt a resolution designating September 16, 2018 as El Paso County American Legion Day.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners. I have the privilege of reading this resolution. We have Zone Commander Mr. Clay Durbin here. Sir, if you'd like to come up to the podium, I'll read the resolution and the Commissioner will take a vote, and we'll turn the podium over to you. Whereas the American Legion was chartered and incorporated by the United States Congress in 1919 as a patriotic veterans organization devoted to mutual helpfulness and continues to serve as the nation's largest wartime veterans service organization. And whereas the mission of the American Legion and its members, Legionnaires, is to advocate patriotism and honor, promoting strong national security and continued devotion to fellow service members and veterans through the various programs and activities, including the Family Support Network, Child Welfare Foundation, Temporary Financial Assistance Fund, and the National Emergency Fund. And whereas the American Legion sponsors activities for children and youth, including the National Oratorial Contest, Boy Scouts, American Legion Baseball, Boys State, and Boys Nation, and awards millions of dollars in scholarships to young men and women. Whereas Legionnaires' sense of obligation to community, state, and nation drives an honest advocacy for veterans throughout the nation, and the organization belongs to the people it serves and the communities in which it thrives, including the American Legion Post 598 in Horizon City, Texas. Now therefore be it resolved that the El Paso County Commissioners Court honors the work, dedication, and commitment of the American Legion and Legionnaires in El Paso County for their work to instill a sense of patriotism through the ongoing advocacy for the needs of wartime veterans in the community. And locally, the court commemorates September 16th, 2018 as El Paso County American Legion Day, adopted the 17th day of September 2018 by the honorable members of the County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Judge and Commissioners, we have a very special guest today. We have Zone Commander Clay Durbin, who is here to accept the resolution. He was promoted to Zone Commander for the West Texas region and now oversees all American Legion posts in the community, in addition to his ongoing service as Commander for the Post 598 in Horizon City. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. I'd really like to thank Mr. Landeros for helping Commissioner Perez for getting this resolution on the docket, and I want to thank all of the commissioners and Judge Vogt for voting to approve this resolution. As Commander of American Legion Post 598, I realize just how hard all of our Legion posts work, and as Zone Commander for all of the El Paso County posts, you really don't realize just how much work American Legion posts put in for the Legionnaires, the Ladies Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, and the American Legion Riders. How much hard work they put in to support our communities, our veterans, and our active duty soldiers. Every year we put on our post 598, put on a USO run to support the 3 USO stations here in El Paso. So far we've raised $20,000 for them over the past 8 years. It's an endeavor that's close to our hearts, supporting active duty and the veterans as well. All of the posts throughout all of El Paso work very hard, and I thank you all for recognizing what we do in El Paso, my post 598, and the American Legion in general. You may not know it, but this week is the 100th anniversary of the American Legion, founded in Paris, France, after the World War I. And they're trying to put forth the recognition of the American Legion. And I do thank you all, every single one of you, for recognizing the American Legion, the Women's Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, and the American Legion Riders for what we do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for your leadership and all that you do for the community. I know that it takes quite a bit of time and effort, but if it wasn't for great folks like you and volunteers, it wouldn't happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Judge Vogt.
One more.
Item 4C, approve and adopt a resolution declaring the week of September 16th through 22nd, 2018 as Helen of Troy Week in El Paso County, Texas.
I believe we have several guests here joining us today, including the CEO of Helen of Troy, Mr. Julian Minenberg. If you all please join us at the podium, I'll go ahead and read the resolution into the record, and then open up the floor for any comments that you may have. There are also several members of their executive team here who are joining us, so thank you.
Thank you.
Whereas Helen of Troy was founded as a family business and wig store in downtown El Paso in 1968, and whereas over the past 50 years, Helen of Troy has evolved into a leading global consumer products company with a strong portfolio of well-recognized and widely trusted brands, including OXO, Hydro Flask, Vicks, Braun, Honeywell, Purr, and Hot Tools. And whereas Helen of Troy employs nearly 400 people at its U.S. headquarters, which are still located in El Paso, and approximately 1,500 people worldwide. And whereas Helen of Troy remains committed to positively contributing to the Paso del Norte region by offering competitive jobs, keeping homegrown talent in El Paso, and attracting new employees to the region. And whereas Helen of Troy's contributions also include its support of charitable causes throughout the Paso del Norte region through volunteer work and the donation of millions of dollars. And whereas Helen of Troy celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2018. Now therefore be it resolved that the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court hereby declare the week of September 16th through the 22nd of 2018 as Helen of Troy Week, starting the 17th day of September 2018 by the members of the Honorable El Paso County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you again for being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My name is Julian Mindenberg. I'm CEO for Helen of Troy, and I'm very honored to be here today, joined by Brian Grass, our Chief Financial Officer, by Tessa Judge, our Chief Legal, and also by Gwen Pulido, one of our other attorneys in our legal department. We're very proud. We're proud to be in El Paso now for 50 years, and thank you for that acknowledgement. We're proud of the people that we've been able to attract to our company, some of them with 25 or 30 years in their own right, working at the company through many different eras, some of them very new. We've brought from the outside and have been able to promote from within as well. And the business is thriving. It's become a multinational business. It's about $1.5 billion in sales now. It's tripled in the last 12 or 13 years alone, and it's made a meaningful difference in the lives of a lot of people. We're proud to be in El Paso, and we thank you very much for the honor today. And to each of you commissioners, thank you for voting for us for Helen of Troy Week.
And again, we thank you for being such a shining example of what El Paso has to offer. You know, El Paso County for several years now has really tried to step up its game and being more instrumental when it comes to economic development. And a part of that is being able to share wonderful examples of businesses such as yourselves who have established themselves here in El Paso, have been incredibly successful, and are very much giving back into the community. And so we thank you for your commitment to the community, to the residents of El Paso County, and for the great products that are produced through Helen of Troy, which are used by millions of people worldwide. But thank you. It helps make our job easier to be able to say that companies like Helen of Troy are based here and are a great example for us to tout.
Thank you. We're honored, and we're looking forward to staying and doing another 50.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Had a reason this morning.
You did? Yeah, great. We brought a small gift. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Very honored. Judge, thanks so much. A pleasure. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Thanks for your vote for supporting it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate your vote and for supporting us. Proclamation, thanks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Judge.
Thanks again, sir. Sure. Thank you. Thanks. See you in a couple of days. Thank you, sir.
I don't know if it's an event there. Judge, real quick before Helena Troy leaves, I also want to mention I saw a banner in the airport, and I think it's so funny because it's been probably 8 years ago or more. I told Deborah Curry, who used to work at Helena Troy, that it was my favorite tourist attraction as well. Everybody who comes from out of town wants to go to the outlet store at the Helena Troy facility. All my friends and guests, and it's always a fun trip. We always go to the outlet store at the Helena Troy headquarters. So thank you all.
It's open for business, and you're welcome anytime. Thanks. Thank you.
Item 4D, approve and adopt a resolution recognizing Wise Latina International's annual summit and declare Saturday, October 6, 2018 as Wise Latina Enough is Enough, Ya Basta, Stop Sexual Harassment, Assault, and Domestic Violence Day in El Paso County, Texas.
Come up. I'm not sure if they were able to make it this morning. Either way, we'll read the item into the record. Whereas Wise Latina International is an organization dedicated to the empowerment and education of women of all ages and walks of life, with the objective to empower women by serving as agents of change and having an impact on their lives, families, youth, and communities in the border region and internationally. And whereas Wise Latina International, through their annual summit, Tapestry of Evolution, Strength, Power, and Influence, whose theme is Enough is Enough, Ya Basta, Stop Sexual Harassment, Assault, and Domestic Violence, seeks to build leadership alliances to address the alarming issues surrounding violence against women. And whereas Wise Latina is partnering with the Paso County Attorney's Office and District Attorney's Office, the UTEP Women's and Gender Studies Program, the El Paso Community College, media partners KTSM, MCAD, and other community organizations to raise awareness and provide resources to meet the needs of our women in the Paso del Norte region, including Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua. And whereas Wise Latina International, true to its mission, uses entertainment, cultural and performing arts, and related activities to enlighten and raise awareness, to develop leaders and mentors, and to provide tools and skills to help address violence and abuse of women, thereby inspiring, encouraging, and promoting self-respect, self-determination, and self-sufficiency. And whereas this year, Wise Latina sponsored a film contest in partnership with KTSM Television to encourage local filmmakers to produce a short film to help raise awareness and call attention to the serious issues of sexual harassment, assault, and domestic violence. Their work, being featured on KTSM TV 9 during the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, raised significant awareness. And whereas Wise Latina International will host its Tapestry of Evolution, Strength, Power, and Influence, Enough is Enough, Ya Basta, Stop Sexual Harassment, Assault, and Domestic Violence Summit, whose purpose is to encourage dialogue, utilizing liberating structures to end violence against women through prevention, support, and leadership alliances, and promotes the idea that knowledge and education is key to the empowerment of women, on October 6, 2018, at the El Paso Community College, and with the support of Trustee Belen Robles. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court that during National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, Saturday, October 6, 2018, shall be declared as Wise Latina, Enough is Enough, Ya Basta, Stop Sexual Harassment, Assault, and Domestic Violence Day. Signed the 17th day of September, 2018, by the members of the Commissioners Court.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Commissioners, again, I don't think we have anyone here, unfortunately, to accept the resolution this morning. They couldn't make it, but we'll make sure that they get this. And we appreciate the support that you've lent over the last several years, and the role that the county has played in ensuring that we create an entity where people feel comfortable to be able to speak up on any issue. And domestic violence and abuse is one of those that the court has taken a big interest in. So thank you.
Item number 5, public comment.
We do have one member of the public signed up to speak, and that's Mr. Pierre-Andre Uzarga.
Good morning. God bless you. You're welcome. Anything other than cannabis legalization continues to discredit people. I am the president, CEO, and the founder of Emerald Star Global Industries. And I am discredited because laws discredit me. I hear a lot of resolutions or what have you, and I have some cases, right? I'm on the docket presently, which is kind of funny. You know, when I think about my situation, I try to make the best of it, and that's why I'm here. Now, discrediting, shoot, let's talk about me. I have a case, harassment, that involves other pot smokers. So you all, or the judges, the district attorney, the attorney general of the state of Texas, of the U.S., have trouble. Who do we believe of these 3 or 4 or 2 individuals? They're all potheads. It's against the law. Let's just throw them all in jail. Now let's look at my friend Ruben Alvarado, who signed, he pleaded guilty, all right, 10 years. He didn't say that he did it. He just took a guilty plea. Now, in his particular case, there was a young man whose life was lost, Mr. Bertrand, and forgive me if I mispronounce his name, a young 21-year-old, who's also a pot smoker. His parents are in the military. Ruben was in a transaction with some other gentleman. There was about 6 individuals, all pot smokers. Someone died. Who do you believe? Who do we pin this life? Who do we pin this charge on? Who do we blame? I don't think we should blame the individuals involved. I think we should blame the state of Texas. I think we should blame the federal government, the United Nations. Because legalization eliminates transactions at these apartment complexes. That's where these crimes took place. These transactions should occur in a licensed retail environment, an establishment, a business, where there's a countertop, there might be a security guard, there's cameras. It's modernization. That's what we have to do, and we're not modernizing cannabis. I feel sorry for the family of that young man. I wish I could reach out, but and I still might. I have a friend, 3 friends, they're brothers I went to high school with. They know Ruben. We all went to Jefferson. The Hernandez brothers have a stepdad who I've known since I was a little kid because we all played pee-wee football together. He died in a cannabis transaction in San Antonio. His name is Jose Cintron. Jose Cintron, San Antonio. This year he died. A cannabis transaction took place in his home and he died. My friend's stepdad passed away. They're pretty upset about that. So when I hear Lupe Valdez talk about decriminalization, that's spitting my daughter in her face. That's spitting my friends in their face. That's spitting me in my face. You don't want to make an enemy of, ladies and gentlemen. Don't make an enemy of me. Don't do it. I believe in God's law. I'm more of a God's law man. I don't really care too much about man's law. Man's law should be designed to complement God's law. We have a few months. I'm not playing around. We are not playing around, even though I'm up here. I'm a representative. I represent a lot of people. Millions, hundreds of millions. Globally, billions of people I represent. I am a CEO and president. I am not like any other president and CEO. There will never be one like me ever again. Let's talk about $320 million in federal taxes every month. From DJT's first day in office to today, we're talking 21 months, $320 million. Times 21 months. We could split that into federally, the USDA, and state by state. I think the courts need a lot of help. courts do need a lot of help. I say it again real quick. I have cases with child support. I have to go to the Attorney General's office, ladies and gentlemen. To me, it's like a probation office. It's filthy, it's dirty. You know, there's a lot of single moms, a lot of single dads. So state by state with cannabis and, basically the Cannabis and Organics Act, this money needs to go federally, the USDA, and state by state, it has to go to the courts, to the government. And we have to manage ourselves. And I do have a lot of information that I wish I could submit, but I will not submit it without proper investment, without proper representation from my local government, from my state government, from my federal government, and from the United Nations, porque ayer era 16 de septiembre. Viva Mexico! Mexico has to help the U.S. of A., just like the U.S. of A. has to help Mexico. And as I wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, remember our history. Remember our history. Remember our history. Remember my words. Good day and God bless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I believe that is it for public comment.
Correct, yes. Item number 6, Judiciary and Corrections. Discuss and take appropriate action to approve the pre-adjudication interlocal agreement for the acceptance, processing, and housing of children believed to have engaged in delinquent conduct on behalf of the El Paso County Juvenile Probation Department and the Andrews County Juvenile Probation Department for the term beginning July 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019, and shall automatically renew for successive one-year terms unless terminated by either party. Funds will be deposited in General Fund Juvenile Detainee Other, contract number 2018-0490.
Should we take item 7 as well, please? And read that into the record.
Yes, Judge. Item number 7, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the post-adjudication interlocal agreement for the acceptance, processing, and housing of children believed to have engaged in delinquent conduct on behalf of the El Paso County Juvenile Probation Department and the Andrews County Juvenile Probation Department from July 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019, and shall automatically renew for successive one-year terms unless terminated by either party. Funds will be deposited in General Fund Juvenile Detainee Other, contract number 2018-0491.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Louis Castillo out of Juvenile Probation, representing Chief Roger Martinez. Both of these interlocal agreements are with Andrews County. One is for pre-adjudication detention for any kids they may need detained temporarily. The other is for post-adjudication in our challenge facility for any kids they may deem requiring that placement.
And these are ongoing. These are not new. This is just renewing the contract.
That's correct, Judge. Several interlocal agreements we have with regional counties in the West Texas area.
I don't know if it was for this item, but this is renewing the agreement. I think we've already expired the 1-year continuances. Was that correct, or is this?
Good morning, Kathleen Anderson, Assistant County Attorney. These two are both new. We typically do have a contract for a 1-year period and then have 1-year renewals. This has to go before Andrews County. Their juvenile board approved it first, and then we're bringing it here. So, but these are revenue generating. In other words, Andrews County would send kids to us, and we would house them, and then fees would be incurred and paid to us.
Judge, Commissioner, go ahead. This, I think, speaks very well of the service we're providing here, that Andrews County chooses to send their youth to our facility. I think it speaks volumes of the great work and cutting-edge operations that we have, so congratulations.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, move to approve.
Second. Both items?
Yes.
Commissioner Bettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Item number 8, Litigation, Justice, and Law Enforcement. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign the attached resolution and annual renewal of the Department of Family and Protective Services grant contract for 2018 through 2019 with the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services in the amount of $933,708.53 as the county's grant match and a federal reimbursement in the amount of $278,863.39. Funding is available in General Fund, Child Protection, Transfer Out Grant Match. Contract number 2018-0529.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge. My name is Marilyn Mungerson. I'm an assistant county attorney, and we are here asking the court to approve a renewal of this reimbursement contract. It's one that's been in place for many years, and it affords the county an opportunity to recoup some of those expenses that are outlaid in the result of representing the Department of Family and Protective Services on our Child Protective Services cases.
Commissioners, any questions? Mr. Hargrove?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy. On this item, I do need to point out that the amount of the adopted budget for the new fiscal year FY19 was $872,212. That's the amount we had received originally in the budget request. So this would require an allocation from our grant contingency account of $61,497 to bring that to full funding. We would process that amendment at the beginning of the new fiscal year.
Question? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Ms. Bunkerson, did you want to say something?
Thank you, Commissioner. We just want to make sure that the motion includes that allocation to make sure that we're fully funded on the budget request.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the item states the 933, so we should be okay. We'll just take what's remaining or what's needed from the contingencies.
We will use the approved agenda item language in our amendment we do when we open the new year in October.
Aye.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty? Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Item number 9, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the fixed price construction agreement between owner and contractor with Tao Industries, Inc., doing business as Hawk Construction for construction of the Levee Road depression coupled with retaining wall beneath the Tornillo Guadalupe International Bridge. Funds in the amount of $361,700 have been encumbered in the 2012 bond issuance. Funds are available in Capital Project Tornillo Guadalupe Port of Entry 12 construction, contract number 2018-0068.
Morning, Ms. Niemer.
Good morning, Signe Niemer from the County Attorney's Office. This contract will take care of the levee depression, in other words, the road going under the bridge, making it a little deeper so that equipment can go through. We would appreciate your approval.
Motion to approve?
I hate that bridge so much.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The bridge that keeps on giving.
That's my line.
Item number 10, Human Resources. Approve and authorize the revision of the County of El Paso's organization of the Civil Service Commission policy.
I don't know if we have anyone from Human Resources here right now to present on this yet.
They were here earlier.
And if they don't get here, I'll cover it for them. But I believe Melissa wanted to be here. Melissa and Michelle wanted to be here to speak to these items. Either that or Michael. Are you prepared? Okay, we will wait for Michelle or Melissa.
Okay. With that being said, why don't we go ahead and take item 26, the grant applications, because the remainder of the human resources are presented by Ms. Carrillo. So you can take item 26.
Okay. Item number 26, grant applications. Approve the submission of county grant applications as listed and described. If awarded, all grant award agreements will be brought back to the Commissioners Court for final acceptance and approval. Approve and authorize the County Parks and Recreation Department to apply for the Texas Parks and Wildlife Outdoor Recreation Urban Grant to develop county parks and recreation facilities and provide needed all-abilities playgrounds at Azcárate, Gallegos, and Reisinger Parks in the amounts of $1 million from January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2021, with a 50% cash and in-kind match required.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Veronica Myers, Parks and Recreation Director. We would like to apply, like we said, for the $1 million grant from Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. And we do have a letter of commitment as well from Moms on Board and the Paso del Norte Foundation to raise the additional $1 million in cash and in-kind contributions.
Was there a split as to how much needed to be cash and how much could be in kind for that additional $1 million?
No.
No. Okay. So the grant proposal is for the $1 million. We would then match at the $1 million. Moms on Board is working together with the Health Foundation. I know that we've also committed some funding to help with that. And what was that amount, just so the public is aware?
That'd be great. So.
No, have we not?
I don't think we've committed any funding.
Oh, okay.
We have not established funding for that.
Okay,
We're working on we could help contribute to the in-kind with our land.
That's right.
And with our staff.
That's right.
And the maintenance, but we're not on the front end providing any of the cost of the capital, other than our in-kind of the land, the value of the land that we would dedicate to this project, and the staffing, the staff time and work.
Correct. And the design as well, and that's 12%, so that would be $240,000 of $2 million automatically, so.
Perfect.
We would like to approve.
Yes, Commissioner Leon?
Yeah, I saw something in the news this morning, but can you describe a preliminary view of the possibilities here?
Definitely. So these all abilities playgrounds are playgrounds for all children. They're for all children, not just children with disabilities. They are for all children. They do have components that are for children that may have cognitive learning disabilities, mental disabilities, and physical disabilities included, but it's for all children to come and play. And these playgrounds allow for children to play side by side with their peers and their family members that they may not otherwise be able to do in other playgrounds. We hope to do one at Reisinger Park and replace the existing playground there. Which is needed to be replaced, and then one at Gallegos Park on the far west side, and then the other one would be at Azcárate Park on the north end of the small lake. The play areas usually have fencing around them so that children with autism can run around and play without running into the street. And so they have a rubber surfacing on them throughout the playground space. And we do have a huge population, a big population here in El Paso of at least 9% of our community being having some type of disability.
I've seen the city has one park, I understand, over Ponder Park,
Right.
that has that type of facility.
They only have one.
One.
We have one in the whole city and county of El Paso, and therefore there's a big demand for this type of playground equipment in our community.
And I've got to tell you, I've been there, and I'm very impressed with the possibilities of all children to be able to play in those facilities. So hopefully that'll come true.
Thank you.
Ms. Myers, do we have a timeline as to when we might hear back from the agency?
The grant is due October 1st. We usually get word sometime in January. It's a 3-year grant, so we have 3 years to complete these playgrounds.
Excellent.
Is there a motion already?
Yes.
Yeah. Second?
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Before I vote, did you want to speak? Yes.
Yeah, we're taking up the... No?
Then aye. Then aye.
Judge vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And before we wrap up this item, I really want to thank our team, our Chief Administrator's Office, the Parks Department, you, Ms. Myers, and Moms on Board for raising this issue, bringing it to the Commissioner's Court. I think it's really important that when we are looking at investing in our parks, which the county has done such a tremendous job over the last several years in doing that, that we also do so in ensuring that all of our kids have a safe place to be able to enjoy just like any other child. And so we appreciate this really wonderful collaboration, and I think it's going to be really fruitful for us moving forward and for the entire community. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, and thank you for your continued support.
Before you leave, the main people are here that we need to thank. Yesterday, or Saturday, was the county employee picnic, and I just want to thanks the Parks Department. It was a fantastic venue at a Security Park. They did a fantastic job of accommodating all the employees and their families, as well as Norma, Melissa with HR, and I hope that Staple was working. So many people to thank for all the great work. My family had a fantastic time, and I just think they need to be recognized for all their hard work. So while you're all in the room together, so.
Absolutely, and it really was a great event, and it takes a lot of time and effort and energy, and it comes at no expense to the local taxpayer. This is all put on by funding that's provided by the elected officials, the department heads, and through, I think, the prescription card. And the Sports Commission, who's also every year been incredibly generous in their support. So thank you all for that time. I know that part of your team that helped put this on is not here, but if you would please relay our thanks. Thank you.
And it's not important, but IT, along with me, won tug of war, so that's all that really matters. Go IT.
Thanks to staff, and there'll be a rematch on that archery.
Right, Wally? And congratulations, and we look forward to hearing back in January as to the results of the application. So keeping our fingers crossed.
Thank you, and thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and just to wrap up the grants section, if we could take item 27 as well, please.
Item 27, approve and authorize the Public Works Department to apply for the fiscal year 18 Regional Solid Waste Award COG Managed Program in cooperation with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for solid waste grants for the Upper Valley, Westway, Fabens, and East Montana from September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019 in the amount of $28,000 with no county grant match required. Further, authorize the county judge to sign the resolution.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Norma Palacios with the Public Works Department. We're requesting your approval to accept the funds, these grant funds that supplement our existing funds so that we can continue to have these community cleanups in the Fabens, Montana, Canutillo, and Westway area. We didn't identify the exact dates or times on this because we have a proposal that we'll be bringing forward to the court to continue to have additional cleanups every month. And so this will help us with those additional cleanups that we're going to propose in a future agenda item.
Norma, is this an increase or a decrease in funding that we've seen in the past from?
I can probably answer that better.
Okay.
I'm on the Rio Grande Council of Governments Solid Waste Advisory Committee, and the problem is the amount of funding we've received year after year has dropped substantially. In years past, we would get hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now the entire grant pool is about $86,000. And so it's very difficult to spread that between 7 counties to do things. So even this ask is going to be difficult to pull off, but we're going to make our case. And the benefit is that it helps not just El Paso County, but the outlying entities as well with Fabens and Vinton and Canutillo and all those others. But the problem is the money that we used to, the pool that we pull from it has dropped substantially, and there's 7 different counties fighting for this funds.
And we've obviously seen the huge demand and the turnout that occurs whenever we do hold the cleanups, but it's really heartening to know that even despite the drop in funding, that we're looking at increasing the number of cleanups that we've done at the county, and more so than we have ever before. So that's really fantastic, and I hope that those out in the community are listening or will get the information, because we do have a huge issue with illegal dumping when it comes to tires, the household hazardous waste, and it just stays in someone's home for a long period of time, and the bulk trash that stays behind too that causes other issues, especially right now during this mosquito season. The more trash that collects, the more of a hazard that creates when water stays in certain areas. And so I'm glad to hear that we're doing a lot more with less, really. So. Okay.
Thank you.
And move to approve.
And on that note, we have a cleanup on Saturday
We do.
on the west
We have
side.
our first community cleanup at the Gallegos Park this coming Saturday. So we invite everybody, the communities, to come out, bring their trash. And what's different about the county is that we don't ask for any type of ID identifying where they live. We accept trash from anybody.
And what time does that run normally?
It starts from 8 to 12,
Or full.
or until capacity.
Move to approve.
Second. We've hit capacity before, so we got to say it till capacity.
Yes.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay, if we could go back to the Human Resources section, item 10, please.
Item number 10, Human Resources. Approve and authorize the revision of the County of El Paso's organization of the Civil Service Commission policy.
Morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with Human Resources for the record. We're here today to present 3 more policies for your consideration. The first on the list is the Organization of Civil Service Commission. You have the red line version in front of you.
That's a lot of changes.
The changes to this one, we just removed some language that was no longer pertinent to this particular policy when we removed the 2 handbooks for employees and went to the online version of policies. There's some language in here that was redundant, so we removed that. We clarified the role of civil services outlined in the Texas Local Government Code. We clarified the language concerning the location of county policies that are now online. And then we just had some general updates to the rules section regarding the procedure that we've discussed with you when approving applicable county and department policies. And that's where department heads must take their department policies to civil service, for approval by them to ensure that it's not contradictory with the rules of the county that we have passed that is within their purview. Any questions on the changes on this policy?
Commissioners, any questions? No? Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, approve and authorize the revision of the County of El Paso's performance management and evaluation policy.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Michelle Cochran with Human Resources for the record. If you recall, Judge and Commissioners, last year in October, we rolled out this new performance management procedure and policy. We changed the forms and the process that went along with it. This past year, we solicited feedback from the departments and elected officials to see what was working, what wasn't, what we needed to clarify. So the revisions in front of you today to this policy incorporate the feedback that we've received throughout the year. It really clarifies the language to make it more user-friendly, to make sure that the questions that supervisors had when conducting the performance evaluations and coaching sessions throughout the year, it's clear when the forms are to be used. The form, with the language we took out, annual, as the form is used for probationary annual as well as unscheduled evaluations. We added sections to delineate when probationary evaluations are used, when unscheduled evaluations should be utilized. And we also clarified the process on probationary employees, those who were promoted or demoted, as the annual evaluation or the time from evaluation is different for the individuals who fall within that category. We did add language that prohibits retro payments for evaluations that are not received timely to the HR office. So, for example, when a department head or elected official turns in an evaluation late for the employee, they do not get the payment that they have missed out on a step increase potentially. And unfortunately, while that is not good for the employee, at the end of the day, the manager's job is to get those evaluations done timely, and it is a budget impact with those retro payments. But we did add the provision that they can come to Commissioner's Court to request that retro payment for their employees should they wish to do so.
And so it doesn't mean in any way that they won't collect that step. They just won't collect that step until the evaluation has been completed and approved and...
Correct, Judge. Yes, they'll still get that step, but if there was a delay in receiving it, they won't get the amount of money that they potentially forewent due to the timeliness.
Commission.
Michelle, I know
Yes,
that I've seen a couple of cases where the employee will not sign the form, thinking that they agree with it, even though it states very clearly. What happens in those situations?
So on the form specifically, Commissioner, it does indicate, and even in the policy, that signature does not indicate agreeance with the evaluation. It is to recognize that they did receive it.
No, I understand that, but there are still some employees that still will not sign it.
And so we've asked our coached managers in our training to write that the employee refuses to sign and to have a witness initial that. If it's a passing evaluation, the employee will still receive their step increase. If it's not, they will not receive their step increase, which is the practice that we followed for many years in regard to evaluations and step increases.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Michelle, before you
Yes,
leave,
Judge.
so steps for this next fiscal year kick in October, the first week of October? Is
No,
that
not the first week of October. It's the first full pay period within the
Okay.
fiscal year, Judge, which I believe paychecks for that, I don't have a calendar in front of me, is the third week in October? October 26th paycheck is where employees will see their step increases this year, Judge.
Managers listening who may be delayed in submitting their performance evaluations for their employees, please take note of that. Check the dates and submit them, please.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Per policy, it must be in our office no later than October 5th. So please, thank you so much, Judge.
Item number 12, approve and authorize a revision of the County of El Paso's administrative leave policy.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. I have some allergies, so forgive my voice this morning.
Too much yelling at the picnic? Is that what
I don't know if it was the Khalid concert or the picnic, but it was something. So this morning I have the pleasure of bringing before you the administrative leave policy revision. There are some short revisions to this, which really include expanding and clarifying language, which has been our past practice for some time, but it was not clear in policy, and so we took liberty of adding that language. It talks about Commissioners Court ability to issue administrative leave during inclement weather conditions, and it talks about when employees need to leave for mandatory EAP appointments that they can utilize paid administrative leave only when that employee is scheduled to work during those appointments. It further clarifies pay and benefits. In the past, we've had employees wonder, are they able to still accrue benefits when they're on an ADC leave? And the answer is yes, and so we made sure to clarify that. Of significance, the reason why we looked at this policy was truly because of our anti-harassment policy investigations. Currently, your policy limits department heads to placing employees for 5 days of leave per calendar year, which equals 40 hours. However, if an investigation is occurring, there are times when employees may need to be on leave longer than that if the investigation is taking longer than 5 days. And in most cases, it does. And so what we did was edit this policy to allow for a department head, at the request of HR, to place an employee on administrative leave for up to 120 hours, which is equivalent to 15 days. And this is done when HR might see a perceived physical threat, sexual harassment, physical safety issues are seen. We may ask the department if they'll place their employee on administrative leave. That was really the trigger in looking at this policy. The rest we took advantage of cleaning up while we were in revising it. So that is a big one. The other point of clarity was made when employees come in for grievances, whether you're the grievant itself or a witness to the grievance, and only when that civil service hearing is being done during your regularly scheduled work hours, we clarified that the policy will compensate you with administrative leave when you're here in those capacities only, as a grievant or as the witness in a grievance. And then finally, it added language that allows us to create utilization reports on administrative leave so that we can appropriately represent or track, informing the chief administrator or commissioner's court during budget hearings how departments are utilizing administrative leave each year. It is at their discretion, but it's important for us to watch that balance as well. And so those were the revisions, if the court has any questions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Item number 13, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the liability insurance rate proposal and related documents for fiscal year 2019, which will authorize the county's insurance broker, USI Southwest Inc., to proceed with obtaining insurance policies based on their liability insurance rate proposal for auto, crime, property, special events, general, and cyber liability insurance in the amount of $325,023 for premiums, plus $20,000 USI annual agency fee. Funding is available in General Fund, General Administrative Insurance, General Property, Contract Number 2018-0552.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Michael Martinez, HR. Again, this is the item that we brought back to you on August 9th during budget hearings for the insurance coverage, which again covers those 4 items, the new item being cybersecurity. This item we present for your review and signature of binding, as well as the other documents are included for signature.
The only question I had was, and I'm just looking at this now, the annexes, are they included in here? Okay. Questions, Commissioners? We did talk about this during budget, and as mentioned by Mr. Martinez, there is a new item that we're approving this year, and that's cyber liability insurance. Given, all that we're hearing, it's best that the county be positioned to cover itself as best as possible. So,
move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Very much. Have a good afternoon.
Item number 14, approve and authorize the deletion of the salary supplement for the HEA horticulture position of $33,098 to the Agriculture Department and add 1 new part-time office assistant G7 position at 29 hours for $22,433 plus an auto allowance $603 to the same department for a total savings in the amount of $10,062. Funding is available in General Fund, Agriculture Salary, and Fringe accounts.
Good afternoon.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Alti with Human Resources. This position that Agriculture is requesting is due to a recent restructure that has occurred there. I'm not sure if you're aware, Denise Rodriguez is now the new director of that position there. She was originally the horticulture agent, and what the state did is they actually took her position, upgraded it to the director position, so the horticulture position has now become kind of one. So that position on the state side will actually be eliminated. What the department is requesting is that they are able to use the funds that the county was actually paying for the supplement on that and create a part-time position with some auto allowance allowed for that position as well. Do you have any questions for me?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 15, Public Works. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign the resolution and the interlocal agreement engineering services for design of the O.T. Smith Hike and Bike Trail with the Camino Real Regional Mobility Authority in the amount of $419,094.10. Funding is available in General Fund, EP, CMP, Professional Services General, Contract Number 2018-0374.
Good morning. Good morning, Judge, Commissioner Sal Alonso, Public Works Department. This item before you is an item that grant that we got awarded. Late last year, we submitted a couple of projects to the Transportation Alternative Program on-call call-up projects. This project was awarded to include illumination, striping, hike and bike trail. It covers about 2.5 miles of continuous hike and bike trail. We received the construction dollars, estimated at about $2.4 million for construction. This item right here is the actual design of the hike and bike trail, interlocal with the RMA to get the design started and have it ready to let July of 2019. Staff recommends approval. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Commissioners? Anything, Commissioner Perez?
Sal, you mentioned that the project construction phase will begin in July 2019?
We would let the project July 2019. I figure about 2 months after that, once we get the interlocals and the award the contract with the contractor. So I would say about September 2019 for start of construction.
Okay.
It's a federally funded project.
And how long will the construction take?
It's approximately about a little under a year. I think we have it for 11 to 12 months, give or take.
Commissioner Leon?
So I just, looking at the backup, I wasn't exactly clear where the trail is going to be located at. Do you have any kind of?
Yes, it's located on O.T. Smith in Tornillo, Texas, and it runs from Alameda all the way to I-10. It's one side of the road. It's the east side of the O.T. Smith roadway, and it runs approximately about 2.5 miles.
So it's a north-south kind of direction?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And just to clarify, the funding that was, it's great that the bulk of this project is going to be paid for with federal funds, but I believe that the federal funding for this was dedicated to rural areas, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Correction, Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 16, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the fiscal year 2018 Federal Transit Administration Section 5311 Rural Areas Public Transportation Project Grant Agreement Amendment Number 1, accepting the additional vehicle miles funding award of $1,274,352. The original grant award amount accepted was $309,543, and the new total grant award with additional funds is $1,583,895. There is no county match required. Funds will be deposited in Rural Transportation State 2018 Grant, contract number 2018-0562.
For the record, San Alonso Public Works Department. This item, again, back in May 21st, 2018, we received a grant of the total amount of $309,543. We recently did receive additional funds, approximately $1.2 million, and this will go towards operation of the service. There's no county match, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
Can you give some perspective for those listening and for the audience members as to how this increase came about? I mean, it's such a significant increase, which is fantastic for the region. Was it just a matter of time for us to see an increase, or what was the cause?
Well, in the process of the public transportation with TxDOT, at the beginning of the fiscal year, we get it and awarded a certain amount. But as the year goes on, there's always additional education money that is, I guess, kind of brought together, and then they get distributed per agency, depending on the size of your fleet and the operation costs and your ridership. A certain amount gets awarded towards each county. And yes, it is quite the increase from the 309 and to the additional 1.2 million. So,
and that additional funding will be used to
for operation for our routes, all of our routes.
And is it just for vehicles? Is it for maintenance? Is it for?
It's for all of our buses, our transit buses, routes 10 through 50. So any operations that is needed, maintained, something like that, that's where it goes. It gets budgeted towards the operations side of it.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners? Move to approve. Second.
Commissioner Pettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 17, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the Texas Department of Transportation Section 5339 Fiscal Year 2019 Project Grant Agreement in the amount of $555,702 to provide capital equipment and continued commuter bus service for the rural El Paso County. Contract number 2018-0570.
For the record again, Sal Alonso, Public Works Department. This item before you is a grant that we received under Section 5339, total amount of $555.702. And this would go towards purchasing of additional buses for our county fleet for the rural transit. There's no county match required.
Move to approve.
Second. Really quickly before we take the vote. So for items 16 and 17, is there any way to integrate some of this funding into any of the plans that TTI brought before the Commissioners Court? Like, can any of that be used, especially 16 potentially with that significant increase?
5339 would go towards the purchase of the buses. It's a replacement. So once you exceed a certain mileage on buses, this grant replaces them. So we would lose, if we were to replace, for example, 3 buses, we would return 3 buses. There are some grants out there that we'll be receiving in the near future that would add to the fleet, and those would help go towards the feasibility study about providing additional service to the rural areas. As far as the other grant for item number 16, FTA, the 5339, yes, that's money that we could use for the operations if we decide to extend, for example, we wanted to add a Sunday service or extend the hours of operation. So that, yes, that would qualify as it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Commissioner Bettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, for item number 18, could we please also read in item number 29 at the request of the Budget Department? Both items are tied together.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Item number 18, approve and authorize the reallocation of CP07 park funds to be used for other park projects as identified and approved in the County Regional Park Plan. Item number 29, approve and authorize the reallocation of excess capital funds from completed projects to the unallocated account balance for the Capital Projects 2007 Fund.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Norma Palacios with the Public Works Department. This request is for the use of leftover funds from previous park projects that have already been completed. The funds would be used for park projects identified in the approved County Regional Park Plan in the order those were presented and approved by the court. We are requesting $350,000 for the Escarate Park event area, $135,000 in addition to the existing budget for a water line extension, seating at the Gallegos Park, and the remaining $163,000 to be used for enhancements to the Coyote Park located in the Tornillos area. Yes, we have. So this is if you will look at, if you will consider looking at this, the existing conditions of the festival area. This is where we usually held the Sun City event. So there's a lot of dust, dirt, and so with our proposal, we would have the opportunity to redo this area and have several additional features, not only for events, but also we would have football courts, flat fields that would be used when the site is not being used for special events. And this is where we're requesting the $350,000 to redo this area. The second project.
And so just really quickly, Norma, before you move on, so this includes at Escarate Park.
This would be for the Escarate Park Festival area.
And so the 4 flat fields, are those the ones at the top of the picture there, the 2 in lime green?
The lime green are 2 of the football courts. The 4, this is just kind of a conceptual.
Okay.
But the other, we would have 4 flat fields in the bottom portion.
Okay.
And those we would be able to use them for the events, when we're not having any type of sport events there.
So it'll be grass, basically.
It'll be grass. Okay. And around the surrounding, we would have some type of concrete or paving so that large events could set up their stages and music, whatever they need to do around the field.
Okay. And the walking trail is around the perimeter that's outlined there, or?
Yes, that would be multi-use. That would be it'd be the same thing. the trail and also for the stages.
Do we know the length of the trail by chance?
I don't know it now, Judge, but I can get you that information.
Okay, thank you.
And maybe somebody who's watching can send me that information. I'll get it to you before
Perfect.
the session's over.
Commissioner.
Norma, is there also, are we going to be supplying some sort of power? Because that's an issue that comes up year after year.
Yes, sir. There would be power in this area also, so that we can host those large events. That's the idea behind this.
And it's not, we're not talking about portable power? It's,
No, sir.
Okay.
It would be power to this area, the entire area.
Okay, good. Thank you.
The second project would be at Gallegos Park. It's to extend the line and also to compensate for lost fields. If we're still working with the Border Youth Association on this other project, but we'd like to move forward with these other projects that we have been working on for a while. And so if the court approves the additional funding, we would be able to compensate for the lost fields and also add seating and extend the line. If for some reason the other project doesn't come through the Border Youth, because of the extension of the line, we would be able to provide water to the other area also.
And so when looking at this map, is it the orange that will be addressed, or what are we?
The extension of you're talking about the extension of the line?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It would go all the way to the blue area?
It would go all the way to the blue area. I wish I had something to point to. It'd be,
Purple at the bottom, or is it, it's that little purple line at the bottom. Very difficult to see. Yeah, right there.
okay, so that's a water line, but we would be able to extend it and be able to water the top fields so that we would have water all the way to the top.
Commissioner Bettis.
And regarding the Tornillo Park project, where are we, I guess, on that? Because it's not currently something that's in the county's inventory. It would require an interlocal, and I think the land is currently owned by the General Land Office.
Yes. So we're working on an MOU with the Tornillo Independent School District. They have worked with the university lands to allow them to work on a project with us. And we've also are in the process of submitting a grant to be able to fund the playground equipment. We have somebody here from the Tornillo School District also in support of this project. And so what the additional funding will do, it would provide us funds to do the rock wall, the walking trail, irrigation and sod, and replace the shade structures.
So the Tornillo ISD, they are receptive to partnering with the county on this project?
So,
I know this has been something that's been discussed for quite some time, and I think I've met with 2 or 3 superintendents now that is, during the duration of this project. But I appreciate you being here. The county has been seeking to forge a partnership with Tornillo ISD. I guess we're similar to what we have in Fabens, where the county provides much of the capital costs, and then the school district helps to maintain the parks. So is that something that the school district is open to?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. David Solis, Finance Director for the Tornillo Independent School District, for the record. We are interested in that. We are currently working on a grant with Kaboom to fund a approximately 2,500 square foot playground in the neighborhood of $85,000. So we are committed to working with the county on that MOU.
Okay. And then I know that early in the discussions we discussed the possibility of perhaps if there could be some sort of maintenance agreement. Do you think that's something that the school district would be receptive to if the county would incur the capital costs?
We would definitely be receptive to that. Currently, in our current lease agreement, we are responsible for the maintenance of that park. But we are receptive to entering into that MOU with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
We do have a draft MOU that we've shared with them on what their responsibilities would be, and we would not move forward until this is signed and approved by the court.
Well, I'm glad that we're finally wrapping up the 07 bond funding, and it's nice to see that we had some funding left over from the other projects that were completed for us to be able to further enhance our parks inventory across the community, far east, far west, and central. So this is really great. And I know we talked about this extensively during the budget process, and I'm glad to see it hopefully be approved today, assuming there are no kinks. So.
The trail around the event area is about 0.7 of a mile.
Norma, because of its location, do we have lighting around that park?
That is something we were also proposing to have, and it's not included here. But within the area of our street lights, because it meets the requirements, we would include some of those street lights within the vicinity of that area. So it would not be funded from here, but it would be funded through our street lights.
So we are incorporating some sort of lighting
Yes, sir.
As we develop the park?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
With the court's approval, we could move forward with this as soon as possible. We have quotes, and if the court is agreeable, I think before they start raising the prices and things change, we'd like to have the court's approval so we can move forward and start executing some of these projects.
Move to approve. I think Wally had.
Judge, if you could, just before you take vote, for discussion for item 29, since it is related. So the reallocation that will be processed by our office will be to bring the total funding to the Gallegos Park to $360,320.35. The Escarate event area, reallocate and bring the total funding to $350,000. The total funding required for Coyote Park was a total amount. My understanding was $250,000. What is needed to do the Tornillo Coyote Park? In the CPO7, by sweeping the dollars and using next year's budgeted interest, we would have remaining for Coyote out of 07 $162,983.62. That leaves this project short by $87,016.38. Our recommendation is that the funding be allocated out of our CIP 2019 appropriations in the amount of $87,016.38. That brings full funding to complete the Coyote Park project.
So Gallegos Park is going to be $360,000 instead of $135,000.
So Gallegos Park currently has appropriated $225,320.35. This is an additional allocation of $135 to bring it up to a total of $360,000 out of the CPO7 by sweeping those completed projects.
And Escarate stays at the 350?
Yes, sir.
Total from the 07 bonds?
Correct.
Okay. And then the
Coyote is just under $163,000, and to complete the Coyote project, an allocation from CIP 19, $87,016.38. That will fully fund all three projects and effectively allow us to close out CPO 7 allocation of funding. We'll only have one project there to complete.
Commissioner Levy.
Norma, I'm still concerned with the lighting. If the lighting is only going to be in the area of the street, but we don't have lighting for the park itself, is that what you are telling me?
There's also a light. I've been out to that park, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a light, I think, in the back of the park as well. In the back, I think it's on the southeast corner. I think there's a street light. Maybe I'm wrong.
My concern is, regardless of the existing lighting, do we have enough? Because we're definitely improving the park. I just want to make sure that we have sufficient lighting, not relying on street lighting to illuminate the park.
And I can check on that, provide you a map where the lights exist, where we're proposing additional street lights, and we can probably get that to you later on, either today or tomorrow.
Well, I just wanted to assure that it falls within the additional $87,000 that we're talking about.
Oh, no, that's not for lighting.
No.
The $87,000 is for playground, rock wall, walking trail, irrigation.
No, Betsy, I understand that, but because of those improvements, I just want to make sure that we have sufficient lighting.
I think once the project goes, I mean, there's going to I think it's true that there's going to have to be a separate plan to make sure that there's sufficient illumination for the park. I mean, I think we do have sufficient illumination at the other at our rural parks, and I think those were some of the improvements that were made previously was enhanced lighting. But yeah, we shouldn't be relying on street lighting to illuminate the park. It should have its own dedicated lighting, and that's going to have to be evaluated, and whether that's coming from.
I know that the drawing does include the street lights. I just don't want to provide information that's not accurate. And so I want to go back and make sure that it is included in these costs, because it is part of the drawing, but I don't know for sure. And I will check. But I know that we are trying to include street lights, as far as street lights go, as part of our project that the court has already funded, if it meets the requirements. And I know in that area it did.
Okay, thank
So
you.
I can check and get back to you either this afternoon, Commissioner, or early in the
But
morning.
the bottom line is just to
It's
assure
not funded
that
through
there's
here.
proper illumination there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So, Commissioner Stout, you made a motion, but the question, and we could include it in your motion or take a separate motion, is the 87,000 to make the, to take an additional 87,000 to make the Coyote Park plan whole in terms of the total funding needed for 250,000. Commissioners, do you? What?
You know, it's just, Judge, it's, I really don't like the practice of us, dedicating CIP funds before the project application and things come in. I mean, is there any sort of, I mean, since this project seems it's beginning, we're doing the interlocal, I mean, could we possibly explore any savings derived from these other projects? I mean, is there any anticipated savings possibly from these projects? Is there contingency funds built into these things? It's just that I think it's not a very good practice for us to appropriate CIP dollars like in this fashion.
Something that I had shared with Betsy is that there is a savings if we do some of the work in-house. But something that you need to consider is that it takes us longer to get these projects accomplished because it's in addition to what they're already doing. And so there is a significant savings. And we are willing to do it, but then there's delays in executing these because, like I mentioned, it's the employees in addition to what they're already doing.
How long of a delay would that mean? Is it like a 2-month delay or a year's worth of delay? I mean,
We're looking, depending on the project, I know that the event at Ascarate needs to happen right away. You know, we are losing events because we don't have the facilities to host those. But I think in the Gallegos and in the Coyote, we can include our staff to do it, and it probably, I want to say 9 months, at least 9 months, 9 months.
See, I've got a concern there because I understand that the employees are pulled for other jobs that are more critical. And looking at the time it took us for, let's say, the Fabens Airport, they were continuously being pulled for other jobs. And if you're saying that the total project would take, with that in mind, it would take 9 months?
In addition, it wouldn't be facilities who would be pulled out. It would be our park staff that would be working on these. And you're right about the airport. I mean, we need to prioritize and bring it back to the court, and with the court's approval, prioritize our projects if we needed to make any changes.
And I want to make a comment on this, and the reason why I prefer that Norma and that we contract this work out is because then there will be, there's always a consequence and an impact. You'll hear more complaints. There will be more issues at our parks that we already are maintaining. I think we spread our staff too thin, just like you're saying, Commissioner Leon, when we try to do everything ourselves in-house to save money. As far as other funding, we could continue, as we work through these other projects, we can see if there's any funding that ends up remaining, the other two park projects here. But I just don't know that, I don't know if we'll have any left to meet this enough to meet the $80,000 gap. There is another bond that has some funding for parks. It's the 2016C. actually, I think it's 2016D, has some funding for parks, but we can't reallocate any of the funding. That one is only for parks and airport. And we can't reallocate any of that funding until we finish the work, until we identify the dollar amount that we're going to do at the airport. And so whatever remains from that bond could be reallocated towards parks. And I do believe there would be, most likely the $80,000 would be there to allocate towards this project. And I do want to note also, Commissioner Leon, speaking with Lydia, and this project does include solar lighting.
Solar lighting? Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
I mean, would it be possible to move forward with getting the other two started, seeing if there are any savings that materialize, start to do some of the work at the Coyote Park within that 163 that's already been allocated? And then anything that comes after the fact or beyond that we would wait to see if any savings materialize and then bring that back to the court to, at that point, allocate any additional funding, Mr. Hargrove?
And then the other thing we could do, Judge Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy, once these projects do complete and once we get the finalization of the airport project spec'd out, we also could do an expense transfer out of our CIP funding and over to the applicable bond funds if that excess is identified as being available.
So then we can get moving with what we have now, at least, that's already been allocated, bring this back to the court should there be, it may be that 87 might drop to, I don't know, 50 or 40, but at that point evaluated or completely be realized by savings. Skylar, did you want to add?
No, I'm just, we've discussed this, and I really do want us to move on the 2016 projects at the airport, because we really, I think we'll have enough funds. I'm hoping to do the next project we'd be able to make up the Coyote Park funding and do the next project on the list, which is the Desert Acceptance Linear Park from the Parks Regional Plan. So if we could get the allocation of the 168, how much is it, Wally? And
the funding from
the current CPO7.
The current CPO7 is just under 163,000.
And
Okay,
then
so-
and we can bring it back.
Well, then I'll amend my motion to reflect that we go ahead with the Escarate and the Gallegos Park, and then also utilizing the 163,000 that we have from CP07, and then we can figure out the additional 87,000 as we move forward.
Is that okay, Commissioner? Fine. Okay.
And just for the record, so Caesar has it in his minutes, the amount for Coyote Park is $162,983.62. That will allocate all remaining funds.
Thank you.
And I do want to make clear that, especially for this Escarate Park portion, I think, Norma, you mentioned that we might be losing out on events. I think that we've always realized that enhancing that area of the park is only going to attract additional business. We've been very fortunate that even in lack of that infrastructure, we've had some very major events and others that have utilized that space. This is just going to make it more attractive for those entities.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Okay. Second?
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout? Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Item number 19, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the fixed price construction agreement between owner and contractor between El Paso County and Roof Connect Logistics, Inc. and Empire Roofing in the amount of $263,137 to replace the roof at the Fabens Warehouse. Funding is available in Capital Improvement Project 17, Road and Bridge Renovation Repairs, contract number 2018-0392.
Morning, Judge, County Commissioners. Robin Sully, Facility Maintenance Director. The current roof at the Fabens Warehouse is over 20 years old and is in dire need of replacement. Therefore, we're asking an amount of $236,137 to replace this roof.
Questions? I think we've heard about this being a need for quite some time, and so we need to go ahead and move forward with it. Ms. Keller?
No, I just was going to explain that we did include these funds in CIP 17. So this is just the contract.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Item number 20, approve and authorize the determination of the Public Works Director pursuant to the county real property donation policy to accept the donation of real property as follows. 77 TSP 4 Section 12 TNP ABST 9807 North 1/2 of East 1/2 of Southwest 1/4 of Southeast 1/4 of Northwest 1/4, 2.5 acres.
Norma Palacios, Public Works Department. We're recommending approval of this. This is a donation of property that's a little over 2.5 acres. The size and location make it a good site for us to either store equipment, stockpile, and even consider the site for some of our cleanup events. This is in the vicinity of Cattleman's, that area. So it's close to our Fabens warehouse. And so we really think that it would benefit the Road and Bridge area, specifically for the storage of equipment and, like I mentioned, stockpiling.
And is in this photo, is it the yellow square?
It's the tiny little yellow square.
Okay. And is there infrastructure that allows for us to get out there? Is that
Yes,
like a
we
road?
visited the site. It's rough. The area's rough, but we can get in there with our equipment. And so we feel that in the future, we can use it for multiple things, even ponding, even, like I mentioned, storage and stockpiling of our materials. And usually we don't get the size of donation. Usually they want to donate 1/4 of an acre. So this is a good size.
And just, this location is not landlocked?
No, sir. No, we have access to the area. We went out there and drove the area.
So even if other purchases are made, they're not going to lock us in away from any kind of roadway?
No, we might have neighbors in the future, but it's a long time before we foresee having anybody in the area. Yeah, no, we're not landlocked. We have access to this area.
Okay, thank you. Motion to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 21, approve and accept the revision of Mission Trail Estates to be named Mission Trail Estates Replat K pursuant to the requirements of Texas Local Government Code Section 232.041 and authorize the filing and recording of the subdivision plat.
Morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Gilbert Saldana with Public Works. Mission Trail Estates Replat K is a 2-lot subdivision in precinct number 3, located just east of the city limits of San Elizario, on Camino de la Rosa Road. Water and sewer will be provided by the Lower Valley Water District. On-site ponding will be utilized to address runoff from the subdivision. And this subdivision has met all state and county subdivision requirements and therefore recommend approval.
Questions, Commissioners? Move to approve?
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 22, purchasing. Approve the award of RFQ number 18035, service of a licensed psychologist or psychological firm to provide psychological screenings for the County of El Paso to Integrity EAP, doing business as WellConnect of El Paso, Texas. Purchasing approved recommendation on September 7, 2018. Funding is available in General Fund, HR, Professional Services, General.
Morning.
Good morning, Elvia Jauregui, former bid supervisor. This is an award for services to perform psychological screening. Both firms were evaluated against the criteria, and we're requesting award to Integrity EAP of El Paso, Texas.
Approve. Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 23, approve the award of RFQ number 18037, Special Needs Diversionary Program Intensive In-Home Mental Health Services for the Juvenile Probation Department to Pinnacle Social Services, LLC of El Paso, Texas. Purchasing approved recommendation on September 5th, 2018. Funding is available in the following fiscal year 19 accounts: General Fund, JPD Professional Services General, Project Hope, Juvenile Mental Health, CT-19 grant, pending receipt of grant, TJJD Special Needs Division Program 2019.
Elvia Jauregui, formal bid supervisor. This is an award for the Special Needs Diversionary Program in-home services. We only received one response, and when we queried the other vendors, Pinnacle is the only vendor that provides in-home services. The RFQ did go through the normal evaluation, review, and criteria, as we would any RFQ that had multiple responses.
Commissioner Pettis?
You know, something that I brought up with Deborah at last purchasing board meeting was that, you know, in these circumstances where we get just one response, or you know, how are we ensuring that the pricing is competitive, or that, you know, we're getting a fair price? I don't know if there's an extra review process that goes in this, but you know, it's something I think we just got to be cautious of, you know, in these types of things.
Right, and okay.
Joe Lopez, Assistant Purchasing Agent, County of El Paso. In cases like this, what we'll end up doing is looking at what we've historically paid for it, and we rely more on the department's expertise on what they see in their field and with their colleagues, and that's about the best we can do on that part. I mean, with something like this, it's kind of specialized, and Pinnacle is the only service provider that will do the in-house treatment. So really, that's about the best we can do on that. On the other ones, we'll look at what state pricing is, and we'll look at other bids and compare from there. And this one's kind of a tough one.
So, Commissioner, if I may, that's still a concern. How do we know on this one that in fact those are competitive pricings?
Really, that's something that we rely on juvenile for. They have these services in the past. They've paid for these services in the past, and they have a pretty good idea of what the market is on that. We can go back and check with them.
If I may, just real quick, what we've done in the past is we've actually asked them to check other communities, what other communities are paying for the same services. I know we've had to do that a few times. It seems to be frequently with the types of services JPD buys, but we've done that a few times where we've actually gone and compared to other communities what they were paying for the same services. And what we have found often, well, I can't speak to this one, but like there have been times where we were kind of in the middle. There were people paying less than we were, but there were also people paying a lot more than us. That's what the results have been, and then the court ended up awarding. But I know I've talked to Deborah about this before too, and I thought we were going to implement kind of a standard procedure to make sure that when there's only one bid, that we at least go find out what others are paying for the same service, or have the department find out.
And I'm sure that JPD will has done their due diligence. But if we were to postpone it just a week to assure that they did in fact do that, would that pose any kind of problems?
Not for us, no.
Issue with it. I wonder, Betsy, if there's any way to communicate with Mr. Martinez on whether or not that would pose any significant issues before we wrap up today's meeting. And if not, then we'll postpone a week. And if so, then we can reconsider it at the end of executive session.
Good morning, Kathleen Anderson, Assistant County Attorney. I was watching upstairs and decided to go ahead and come down. You know, as Mr. Lopez suggested, we have worked with Pinnacle in the past and have had pretty good luck with them. with the mental health services, we just have a very difficult time getting individuals to bid for these projects. I know that we had a contract with another group. I think it involved Dr. Basurto, who passed away, and nobody ended up taking over his practice. So our opportunities are just fewer and fewer. So all I can tell you is that, we're required periodically to put it out to bid to make sure that we have canvassed the community and made an effort to see who's out there and who can provide these services. And it's very common. Historically, we've had many mental health situations where we only get one response. And I do know that purchasing will actually contact prospective bidders and ask them, was there a reason? Was it the wording of the RFQs? Was there something about this that you decided not to go ahead and bid for it? I don't know if they've done that yet, but they do typically do that, and then they, will bring that feedback back to us if there's something about the way it's written that they have difficulty with. But again, typically, because we have very tight timelines, that becomes the biggest problem, is that reports and documents are due on a very tight schedule. And a lot of these private sector professionals don't want to have those limitations on their time. And as they've suggested, this is requiring in-home services. So the professional actually has to go meet with the family and go out to the home, as opposed to having those individuals come to their offices and schedule the time to see them.
Okay, and Judge, if you feel comfortable and confident that the pricing is within the norm, I'm satisfied with that.
Well, again, I think purchasing has done a good job to try to reach out to the community and to find out, is there some barrier to them bidding in the way we've described the process? And typically what they respond is that they don't like the timelines and they don't like the documents. And though, because, again, this is all generally funded by state grants, those things are not matters that we can change. We can't change the timelines. We can't really change the paperwork. So I think the department is satisfied with the efforts of purchasing and will continue, to try to get feedback. But our pool of resources, especially in this area, is just much more limited.
Mr. Haggerty? Everything I've heard from anyone is we are in a huge shortage of psychological experts in El Paso. And I think that also affects our ability to get people willing to do it. That there's not enough. There's plenty of business to go around to need to do these contracts. If we have someone willing to do it when we haven't had one in the past, I'm satisfied with the contract we have. I would love to have 15 people to choose from, but that's just not where we are right now.
And unfortunately, as the judge said, Dr. Basurto, one of our biggest service providers, passed away. And another one of our biggest providers retired because he was getting a little long in the tooth like me, and he retired. So our pool of service providers has shrunk a bit.
Are you okay with
No,
that,
I'm okay with it.
Commissioner?
Yes,
Or do you want
sure.
Okay. So, get a motion and a second.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 24, approve and authorize the purchasing agent to solicit proposals for therapeutic foster care placement services for the County of El Paso. In accordance with Local Government Code 262.030, the purchasing agent has reviewed use of the request for proposal process.
Elvia Jauregui, formal bid supervisor. This is a request to use a proposal process instead of a sealed bid process. We believe the county will be better served using an evaluation criteria and scoring on important aspects of the specifications.
Approve.
Second.
Commissioner Perez?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 25, approve and authorize the purchasing agent to solicit proposals for congregate and home delivered meals for for the City County Nutrition Program. In accordance with Local Government Code 262.030, the purchasing agent has reviewed use of the request for proposal process.
Elvia Jauregui, formal bid supervisor. Because of the size and the scope of the congregate meal program, we're requesting to use a proposal process on this item.
Questions, Commissioners?
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon and morning.
Don't cut 38 minutes from our day.
Item number 28, Budget and
That's my
Finance. Pursuant to Government Code Section 61.001B, set the juror pay at $6 for each day or fraction of a day while a person is in attendance in court as a prospective juror but not selected, and $40 for each day or fraction of a day if selected for jury duty and sworn in to sit on a jury panel during fiscal year 2019.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy. We've placed this item on the agenda. This is an annual agenda item that the Commissioners takes under consideration. For future years of note, I'm going to move this discussion into the budget hearings that we have, since there is a fiscal impact. At this point in time, we're asking for the court's consideration to maintain the current rates, $6 for partial day, $40 for full day service. Those amounts are budgeted in the FY19 budget under the District Clerk's Office. Are there any questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 30, approve amendment number 49 to the County of El Paso's 2017 through 2018 operating budget. This budgetary amendment will increase grants by $294,038.58, thus increasing the County of El Paso's 2017 through 2018 overall operating budget of $500,566,705.32 to $500,860,743.90.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy. Are there any questions on this week's amendment?
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Bettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Look at that, 9 pages down.
Commissioners Court will recess into executive session to discuss items 31A through 31D pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071 and 551.072. Commissioners Court will reconvene to take official action.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public. The sandbags are outside of the facilities and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: the Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, located at 1331 North Fabens Street in Fabens, Texas, 79838. The Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, located at 191 Canutillo Avenue in Canutillo, Texas, 79835. And the Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, located at 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas, 79938.
Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
Don't wait in line, pay online. Visit the Financial Recovery Division website at http://www.epcounty.com/budget/financialrecovery.htm to make your payments online or find out more about our kiosk locations. We now accept payments on misdemeanor, felony, and justice of the peace cases.
You can now watch Commissioners Court meetings on YouTube. Go to youtube.com and search for El Paso County Commissioners or El Paso County, Texas. Subscribe to our channels to see our latest videos.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched a prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings!
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the Purchasing Department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
The 346 District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for this specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director, at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the purchasing department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the purchasing department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Commissioners Court has reconvened in a regular open session. Item number 32, discuss and take action on the pending claim regarding Union Pacific Railroad. County Attorney's File Number 018318LC.
Good afternoon, Amanda Frizzell, Assistant County Attorney. I'm here to make a motion to approve the county judge to sign the claim form to initiate payment from Union Pacific Railroad.
Commissioner Pettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon.
Aye.
Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge Vogt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
I believe that is it for today's agenda. We're adjourned. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, sir. This concludes today's meeting at 12:07 p.m.